Welcome back to Safety Glasses Required and my new workshop. It's been a long time since I've posted a video. Part of the explanation for that is this shop. My family and I purchased a new property, we built a new house, and on it was this existing building. It was quite a mess. So I've been spending the last year and a half plus cleaning this space up and getting it ready to be able to work on stuff. The new shop has much more room for projects and tools, and one tool I have always wanted was a CNC router. About 15 years ago, I built a MAME arcade cabinet, one of those emulators, that looks like kind of like an arcade machine, but inside of it is either a PC or, in this case now, a Raspberry Pi with a display mounted in it. It looks like an arcade machine, but can play all kinds of cool videos. Here's a little picture of it from when I built it 15 years ago. During my research for the MAME arcade cabinet, I learned about CNC Router. And ever since then, I've been thinking all the different projects I could use it for. From everything from shop organization to making molds and for making carbon fiber or fiberglass parts for custom car parts, to just making simple tools and shop organization or outdoor furniture or even indoor furniture. The possibilities are really endless. Now that I've got the space, it was time to purchase one. CNC routers cut three-dimensional shapes from sheet goods such as plywood, plastic, or aluminum. Plywood, as you know, typically comes in 4x8 sheets. A machine that can cut 4x8 sheets requires a massive amount of floor space, and while this space can accommodate that, I really didn't want to dedicate that much space to one machine. After looking at many brands and models, I purchased an OpenBuilds Lead1515 with high torque steppers. The lead machine is, as the name implies, lead screw driven on the X and Y axis. Those are tensioned to eliminate backlash and prevent whipping of the lead screws, which is very important if you want to travel at high speeds. The Z-axis is not tensioned, but it doesn't really need to be for as short and as slow as it typically moves. I then purchased an OpenBuilds black box controller, the OpenBuilds interface, which gives you a little touch screen. And so far I've been pretty happy with both of those in my limited experience using. The Lead1515 has a work area of 46 by 49 inches. Now while this doesn't cut out an entire sheet of plywood like I had dreamed, what it does allow you to do is cut out a half sheet, or as the machine is designed, you can pass through. So with a sawhorse or some sort of support, you're able to put a 4x8 sheet on there, cut half of your project out, index the whole thing forward, and then cut out the other half. I've not tried this yet, but theoretically it's possible. There are many CNC routers on the market today. I decided to purchase the OpenBuilds partially because of its size and how economical it was, but I also think with the V-slot frame, it gives me a lot of flexibility to add on, change, tweak, and grow with the machine. At the moment, I only have fun hobby-type projects planned. So things for the channel, things for my kids, things for the shop, things for the house. At the moment, no plans necessarily to sell anything being built on this machine. So I think this machine is great for hobby use. If I come up with a product that I want to make, mass produce on it, I may attempt to use it for production, but I tend to think based on the way the machine is built in general that I think you're probably better off going with a more industrial style machine. Better bearings and potentially rack and pinion drive or some of the other designs that are just generally better suited for mass production. I plan to share with you my experience of upgrading, building, working with, and using the Lead1515 with my projects. You're going to start seeing it in other videos coming up. One of the main videos, and in fact this video you're watching now, is about building this mobile base. And so I think there's a lot of different ways you can build a mobile base for your machine. A lot of different materials you can use. And basically, I decided to use dimensional lumber for this design. At the moment, the price had been down a little bit. And as you know, lumber prices have been all over the place the last year. But it actually worked out to be cheaper to build it with dimensional lumber than perhaps some of the other materials. But really the main reason is I wanted to be able to make this so it could grow with me. And if I need to change things, tweak things, I didn't want to necessarily have to grind paint off of a steel tube structure and re-weld things and repaint. Where being made out of wood, once I paint it, I can screw, attach, cut things off. It's not a big deal. Like it's easy to modify going forward. Certainly, I think going with a steel would be a much more robust and sturdy structure, but since this is my first time owning a machine like this, I've used them in the past, but first time owning one myself, I kind of wanted to have the flexibility that I attach a variety of different things. Things for dust collection, accessories for holding designs, maybe even an enclosure, a partial enclosure, different things like that if it was made out of steel would make it a little bit harder to modify. So let's talk about my design. I drew it in Fusion 360. It's primarily made from 2x4s, 2x6s, and 1/2 inch plywood. I use UV laminated or UV finished, pre-finished plywood from Menards. Really happy with that material. Makes it really nice to just cut it out and screw it down and you can use it. This top here is where the machine will sit. There is an opening in the center here, which later I decided to fill in. Middle shelf here that holds accessories. Maybe in the future there'll be some, like little bins for putting tooling and measurement tools and a variety of hold down fixtures and things in here, as well as smaller pieces of sheet goods that are leftovers or extra stock. And then the bottom here can hold full 4x4 sheets of material underneath as well, so I can store cutoffs, extra pieces in the bottom here. And then not shown here are casters underneath that allow me to slide the machine up against the wall or move it around in event that I do end up using a full 4x8 sheet, and then that allows me to do the pass-through as I mentioned before. So let me turn the machine back on. This is a model that tends to really slow down Fusion 360. But you can kind of see what the machine looks like on top of this. It's actually in the version I'm building back here, it's actually rotated, but we're going to go ahead and turn it back off because it really crushes Fusion 360. Future videos, I will show you how I'm working on, and there's a lot of components in this, a control panel that mounts over here on the machine. It's actually cut out of plywood, and there's some 3D printed tricks on it as well. And some of the other features that are really nice that I'm happy with so far are the swing arm that's behind me for the dust collection that has the flexible dust hose that goes to the machine, as well as switches for turning on and off the router and the dust collection. Because of the size of the machine, the router can get, up to almost 4 feet away from you. There's no way to easily turn off the power switch on it. And while I could run around to the back of the machine and unplug it, the nice thing is now with this design, I have this little switch in the front of the machine that can kill power to at least the router, and then I can cancel the program on the OpenBuilds controller and try to bring everything to a stop. Models for those 3D printed custom switch covers with their little logo underneath, they're going to be available on the sites below. I think I'm going to print those on Prusa printers, and maybe as well as Thingiverse if anybody's still using Thingiverse. The designs for this will be up on my blog, at least dimension drawings of it, maybe even the model. If anybody's interested, shoot me an email or a comment below and let me know. I don't know that this design's perfect for everyone, but it gets you a starting point at least. Like I said, don't leave this open in the center, because in a later video I'm going to show you how I'm modifying the bed, and you're going to need more support in the center here. So while the lead machine is fairly robust, you still need some support in the center. I thought I could get away with leaving this open to have access to the bottom of the bed, and with the way the new bed is designed, at least the way I designed my new bed for it, it's really not needed. Enjoy the build.
Go Gadget Arms!
Actually, kind of like that.